Welcome everyone for joining the community-driven community solar random selection event for projects submitted during the 90-day application window of the 2024-2025 program year. You are in the right place if you are here for the CDCS random selection event, and we will go ahead and get started by introducing today's presenters. First, I would like to introduce myself and others from the program administrator team. I am Lindsay Mabry, Communications and Engagement Specialist at Energy Solutions. We also have Patrice Flynn, Senior Program Director at Energy Solutions, Jess Blue, Community Solar Sector Strategist, and Nate Zeiler from our software team, who will select the projects during this session. We're also very thankful to have the Illinois Power Agency with us today. I will now pass it to Patrice Flynn, who will introduce the CDCS random selection event. Patrice?
Sorry, muted, always caught there. So as you see in front of us is the agenda, but before we review the agenda, I'd like to share a couple of housekeeping items. Everybody will be muted during the presentation, but we ask that you use the Q&A box for any questions. Please keep those questions to the random selection process. We'll answer as many questions as we can verbally at the end of today's presentation, but a video recording of the webinar, presentation slides, and post-webinar Q&A will be published to the website following the meeting today. So looking at the agenda, we have the introductions, overview of the random selection process, project selection, next steps, and then that Q&A. So as an introduction to the event, on June 3rd, 2024, which was day one of the 24-25 program year, community-driven community solar capacity became available. For this program year, capacity available for the CDCS category was 13.78 megawatts for Group A and 31.48 megawatts for Group B, which included the addition of uncontracted capacity allocation from the 23-24 program year. On day one, capacity was initially allocated to projects on the 23-24 program year waitlist, leaving 3.83 megawatts of capacity available for Group A and 1.32 megawatts available for Group B for newly submitted applications. To summarize the new applications submitted during the 90-day application window of this program year, we received a total of 17 applications. 17 applications included 7 applications totaling 15.57 megawatts AC capacity for Group A and 10 project applications totaling 34.74 megawatts AC for Group B. In accordance with the CDCS scoring guidelines previously published both in the 2024 Long-Term Renewable Resources Procurement Plan and the 24-25 Program Guidebook, we scored all projects submitted during the 90-day application window of the program year. Today, we'll be selecting projects for the available Group A capacity and then use the random selection process in order to order the wait list for both Group A and Group B. I'm now going to pass it over to Nate Zeiler, who will give an overview of the random selection process. Nate?
Thanks. So before I start the selection process, I want to share our methodology. We've scored all of the submitted projects for this year's CDCS block. A few of the projects have received the same score. In order to fairly create a waitlist order, we have to randomly sort the projects with tying scores. We do this through a process called random selection, using a command line script to generate random tiebreaker numbers. Why do we use a command line script to generate the tiebreaker numbers? The short answer is that Excel does not allow audit-level transparency into how it generates random numbers without the use of Visual Basic. The command line script allows for full auditing and reproducibility of the results of the tiebreaker. The algorithm used for the selection of projects is written in the programming language Python and uses the basic function random. This function is commonly used in games and lotteries or any application requiring a random number. How does it work? The command line script works by generating a seed, a starting point for the random number generator, at the exact microsecond of execution time, and then outputs the requested number of unique random numbers between 1 and 0 to add to the project data spreadsheet. The projects are then ordered by project ID, and all projects receive a tiebreaker number. The microsecond ensures that the seed is impossible to predict. The granting of tiebreakers, even to projects that were withdrawn, ensures that the numbers are distributed fairly. And the use of the project ID and ordering ensures that the process can be repeated by an auditor. Finally, the script merely generates a random number and has no access to any of the project or scoring information whatsoever, ensuring that the randomness is agnostic of the selection process. So I will go ahead and share. So first, I'll start with Group A. These are the projects that were submitted to Group A during the 90-day application window of the 2024-25 program year. You can see there's currently 3.83 megawatts available in Group A. As noted in the program guidebook, the agency may consider projects small enough to fit into the capacity available. The projects on the current Group A waitlist are too large to fit into the 3.83 megawatt capacity. So we'll select projects that were submitted during the 2024-25 program year to fill this capacity. Then remaining projects will be added to the waitlist below the projects already on this waitlist. I'll use random selection to break ties between projects that received the same score this year to order the submitted projects. Each project will receive a random 16-digit number between 0 and 1, and any projects with the same score will be reordered based on this tiebreaker value. Let's go back to Group A. Hide these columns to make things easier to see. So first, I'm going to sort projects by project ID from smallest to largest. This gets us a repeatably ordered list of projects since project ID is unique. We see how many projects are in Group A. There are 7 projects. Then I use our command line script to run our script. I enter the number of projects that need a random number generated and run the script. The script has generated a seed, a starting point for the random number generator based on the exact microsecond that I hit enter. And that seed then generated a column of unique random numbers between 1 and 0 to add to the project data spreadsheet. So I'll copy this list of random numbers and paste it into the spreadsheet. And now that all of our projects have a tiebreaker value, I'll resort our projects. They'll first be sorted by total points from highest to lowest, and then by random number from highest to lowest. Sort by total points, largest to smallest, random number, largest to smallest. This is our ordered list of projects Group A, for Group A. You can see they're first sorted by total points from largest to smallest. And then for projects with the same score, they're resorted by their tiebreaker value. So I'll now take the top projects until Group A's 3.83 megawatt capacity is full. I will only select projects that will fill up this capacity, but do not exceed the 3.83 megawatts. I'll take the first 2 projects and bring them into the selected projects Group A tab. So this tab brings in project data, AV information, project size. The selected project capacity for Group A is being summed in field G2. You can see we're under the 3.83 megawatts. So I'll check the next project. So this project pushes us over the limit for Group A and will be removed from the selected projects. These are the selected projects for Group A this year. I'll double check. The projects are sorted by total points. And each project has a score of at least 6 points. And column Z is checking that these projects were selected in order of our ordered Group A projects. So these projects will be submitted to the ICC in the next 1 to 2 meetings. The remaining projects with a score of at least 10 points will be placed on the waitlist for this group. We'll create the waitlist. All remaining projects with a score of at least 10 points will move to the waitlist, which is all of our projects. They'll be ordered by score and then by their randomly generated number. I'll take all the remaining projects and add them to the wait list below last year's projects. I'll double check, these projects are ordered by score, and where they're tied, they're now ordered by tiebreaker value. They were placed in the correct order on the wait list, and I'll double check that no projects were missed. So all projects have now been added either to the selected projects list or to the wait list. This is our wait list for Group A. You'll be able to find these updated wait lists on the block capacity dashboard page of the Illinois Shines website following this event. Move on to selection for Group B projects. These are the projects submitted during the 90-day application window of the 2024-25 program year. There are 1.32 megawatts of available capacity. All of the projects submitted for Group B are greater than 1.32 megawatts and will therefore be placed on the wait list. You can see there's projects that received the same score this year. So to break the tie between these projects, I'll again use the random number generator. I add these columns. First, again, I sort by project ID from smallest to largest. This is our repeatedly ordered list of projects since project ID is unique. I see how many projects are in Group B. There are 10 projects. I use command line to run our script. I enter the number of projects that need a random number generator and run the script. Script generated a seed, the starting point for the random number generator, and that seed then generated a column of unique random numbers between 1 and 0 to add to the project data spreadsheet. I'll copy this list of random numbers and paste it into the spreadsheet. Now that all our projects have a tiebreaker value, I'll resort our projects first by total points from largest to smallest, and then by their tiebreaker value from largest to smallest. But total points, largest to smallest, random number, largest to smallest. This is our order list of projects for the Group B waitlist. You can see they're now sorted by total points, and where they have the same number of points, they're resorted by tiebreaker value. So all projects with a score of at least 10 move to the waitlist, which is all of our projects in Group B. They'll be ordered by score and then by their randomly generated. So I'll copy these apps. The apps are added below the projects already on the waitlist. I will double check they are ordered by total points and then by tiebreaker value, and they are in the correct order. We'll double check that no projects were missed. All of our projects were correctly added to the waiting list. So this is our waitlist for Group B. And you'll be able to find this waitlist on the block capacity dashboard page of the Illinois Shines website after this event. I'll pass it back to Jess to go over next steps.
Great, thanks so much, Nate. So in terms of next steps, selected projects will be submitted to the next 1 to 2 ICC meetings. As mentioned, the waitlist will be updated and published to the Illinois Shines website on the block capacity dashboard page, and a recording of this event and communication of the results will be published within 3 days. I'll now pass it back to Lindsay for the Q&A.
Thank you, Jess. Currently, we do not have any questions in our Q&A. So if you have not submitted a question, but you have a question, please type it into the Q&A box and we'll try to get to as many as we can here. Okay, we do have a question. It is, when is the anticipated unallocated capacity date?
I can answer that one.
Thank you, Audrey.
Think what this question is asking is when will the unallocated capacity that hasn't been used this program year be divvied up and doled out to the rest of the program categories according to the priority list from the program guidebook. So that happens at the end of every program year, leading into the new program year. So our current program year ends at the end of May. So we will be doing those calculations at the end of May and have those going out of the unallocated capacity at the beginning of June for the next program year.
Thank you, Audrey. We don't have any other questions in the Q&A box, so we'll give it another minute or so to allow time for any questions to be submitted. We have one other question. Has the 2025-26 capacity been solidified yet? If not, when?
I believe that it is in the long-term plan. I haven't looked at this in a moment, so I think it might be in the long-term plan. But we can follow up on that.
Yes, it looks like Mike has dropped the long-term plan link in the chat for those who would like to look at it there. And I also want to say that we will publish answers to the questions we received today. And if we're not able to get to yours, which right now it looks like we are able to, but look for these answers and questions in the published Q&A that we will put out after the event.
Yeah, so I did just want to follow up. It is in the long-term plan, as Audrey mentioned, and it is the same capacity as was allocated this program year. So it was 11 megawatts for Group A and then 25 megawatts for Group B, which is expected to be allocated at the beginning of next program year. Also, as Audrey mentioned, we will go through that uncontracted capacity allocation. So those numbers may change at the beginning of next program year.
Thank you, Jess. And if the Audrey and IPA team is ready, we can probably move on from questions. So I do want to thank you to all of the program participants for attending today's session. We appreciate you taking the time to participate in this process. We will be available by email and at office hour times to provide any further support as needed. And have a great day. Thank you.